Kiefer pod.
Kiefer pod.
It's always a Kiefer pod.
It's a pretty good guess. It's not quite as common as a big 20, but it's really close. All right, so we see Blackjac taking off from the Sanctuary first and getting a piece of heart.
Okay. See if any of our players decide to early Houlihan just because there is slightly less money in the pool.
That's a route that I personally do like to do myself. And BigDunka finds the map of the Tower of Hera. So we actually see 2 players going for the initial Houlihan route.
I like that play in Keysanity more than any other mode, honestly.
Yeah. I don't like it in the open mode. I don't like it in standard. I like it in Keysanity.
Yeah. So, tree pole is full magic.
Yeah, so the tier 1 tree pole, full magic. If we get some more kills, we could get some more, but I think we have found the glove.
That
the
doesn't
power
appear
glove
to be the glove.
At the uncle. So now I don't particularly like the make the uncle play first play, just because you can't combine it with escape that way. But in this case, it seems to be paying off pretty well.
Yeah, there's just so many different routes that you could take for Keysanity, and they all make sense after a while. Because you're gonna have to go to so many places so many times.
Yeah. I have this thing where I'll do the Houlihan, and then it'll take me to my house, and I won't go back in my house to get the item until I save and quit to my house.
Map for Desert Palace, so we'll know 2 of the 3 Light World dungeons stashes.
Excellent. Now we've got all our runners synced up. Well played to our restreamer in charge. I don't exactly know who was in charge of that, but thank you very much. And now we can see what's going on here. So Walther's going into the library, whereas LavanFirestorm is checking the race game and finds the useless dungeon item, the compass.
Compasses in Keysanity tell you how many items you've found out of how many items are available in the dungeon. It's better for newer players, but you've been playing this long enough, you know how many chests are there. And especially if you're using a tracker that tells you. So, the library, we see a big key. Doesn't mean boots are required, but that's gonna be one of the first places you'll go when you find them. If you find them. So, Blackjac finding a small key to Castle Tower.
Ooh, that could be an omen.
That could be. I have seen more than a few Aghanim required seeds in Keysanity as of late.
When I see 2 Castle Tower keys early, I'm like, okay, where's the lamp? Where's the sword? Where's the cape? We're just doing this.
Yep.
Also, Blackjac getting a little lucky finding some explosives there in Blind's hut so that he can do that in one shot instead of having to go purchase some.
Looks like Lavin and Walther both bought bombs, so they won't be too happy to find them down there.
Yeah, well, it's not that big a deal. One of the things you do... Wow! When you do that Houlihan route, you just expect to buy bombs.
That is true. You do have a little bit of a surplus of money. The single arrow, a big 20, and a piece of heart. Hookshot early there is really nice. That takes a lot of pressure off in the mini Moldorm cave.
So this really could give someone a potential play they might make, because you have the glove and you have the hookshot. So now you could, sequence break through the dark room up Death Mountain and go to East Death Mountain if you wanted to. So that's a potential play you could make to maybe try to get an edge over the other players.
This early, I wouldn't want to go for it. I would still want to check the South Shore.
Yeah, probably not, but it is a possibility. And one of the things you learn in Keysanity is a lot of times you end up clearing everything, or most things.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the really only ways to sort of gain an edge is to, go on those wild sequence breaks.
Yeah, the gambles in Keysanity either pay off really big or you get nothing. Good day, sir.
That is generally how it tends to go.
Blackjac deciding he really didn't like that chicken, just chucking it into the hole and getting stuck in a wall.
Yep, that is the fate of many a chicken in today's society. They become wall chicken, and I believe they get transported to Castlevania. I think that's what happens.
Yeah. I'm not sure where they get cooked along the way to become true wall meat, but yeah.
Well, I mean, how else are you gonna, make the trans-dimensional route? I'm pretty sure there's some high energy levels involved there. Anyway, I'm moving on.
So, all of our runners just kind of free treading what other runners have done here, just doing their initial checks. Think that was Hera was a crystal. It looked like Desert was as well, but I'll have to get a better look at that. Yep, 1 and 2.
All right. Well, maybe we'll just start getting things in order then. Who knows? Now, Walther the Fourth, having a nice opportunity here, but unfortunately not able to pull it off. The hook shot makes it possible to clear this dam in one shot. It's finicky with the hook shot. The mirror is very easy to pull off. The hook shot, not as much.
Yeah, your timing has to be decent enough with the hook shot. Just, a couple of frames too late there. 300 rupees in there, and there was a small key outside. We'll see what that's for.
So certainly unopposed to 300 rupees. There's that first pod key.
You're bound to get one real early, if not more.
Somebody took all the business from pod and just spread it all over the world.
So Blackjac getting his glove, Lavan got his. We'll see what's in Back of Escape here, and Mini Moldorm Cave at the same time.
You know what else I love going into Mini Moldorm Cave? It's the hook shot.
I love the hook shot here. Not having to use bombs in here is a beautiful thing. Map of Swamp, and the map for Hyrule Castle.
Very nice.
In case you forgot where you are. There's just a big X on here. You are here. So Mini Moldorm's 300 rupees, map for Skullwoods.
Nice.
$5.
Tower of Hera small key.
And the mirror.
A way to get there.
That makes Death Mountain play a lot more viable. It makes that play
interesting. Still a sequence break, but you never know. Interestingly enough, those three batches of 500 rupees also make it where Walther may consider going to Zora, though, I don't like doing the fake flipper play unless I have the Moon Pearl.
Yeah.
But speaking of making the play, BigDunka is doing it. He's going to Death Mountain right now.
Let's see what's in Ice Rod Cave. Arrow upgrade.
Yeah, I think it was just arrows, to be honest.
Maybe it was. I thought I saw a little plus there. Maybe not.
It wasn't much, that's for sure.
Yep, it was just regular arrows.
And there's the Bombos medallion there in the, what's it called? The boomerang room,
Okay.
I think, in Hyrule Castle. And I think that was another pod key on the old man, but that's just what the That's just what the shape of the word looked like to my eyes.
Green pendant is swamp.
Oh, it was a Meyer key. Let me tell you something about the Misery Meyer keys.
Who cares?
In terms of the logic, they mean a whole lot of diddly squat.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the moon pearl on top of Spectacle Rock?
There's a mushroom inside Spectacle Rock. Was the moon pearl up there? Yeah, the moon pearl is up there.
Wow, BigDunka gonna get rewarded here. Does he know this bomb jump?
He doesn't have the mirror.
Oh, he doesn't have the mirror.
Only Walther does.
Oh, so when Walther finally makes the play, he's gonna get rewarded.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the lamp was here in Eastern Palace. Just based on the fact that the moon pearl's up there on Death Mountain. Either the lamp or the flute. Some way to get you up here.
Agonos Cave could certainly troll our players. Could be something there.
That. I will admit, I am one of those people who tends to avoid Agonos Cave at all costs.
So, blue mail in first chest in Eastern. Not a bad pick up early. See what's in Paradox Cave.
So it looks like we have 39 entrants in this race. For those of you who were asking.
A single rupee, but a sword. Hammer in Eastern.
Interesting. So the hammer found there in Eastern Palace, and BigDunka is making his way over to Paradox Cave Part 2.
Main Moldorm's not quite cooperating as they want to do. Small key for T-Rock. Small key for T-Rock.
Big key for T-Rock? No.
Big key for Thieves.
Thieves Town. That would have been hilarious.
Small key for Desert.
Desert. Okay.
And Compass for T-Rock.
Yeah, I think that if you look at the taxonomy of the enemies here in Hyrule, you find that I believe the Dead Rocks and the Mini Moldorm share a common ancestor.
What would that be?
I don't know. All I know is they got their movement patterns from the same place. Jerksville.
Blackjac finding his mirror in the Mini Moldorm Cave. We'll see if he decides to head to Death Mountain.
Oh! There's the Cane of Samaria! Up on the floating island!
Ooh.
So you're gonna need those Titan's mitts to get a hold of that thing. As well as the mirror.
So Walther finishing up what he can in Eastern without the bow and the big key. Got the hammer, which, without the sword yet, it's not bad.
Yeah, hammer is a very nice, repetitive weapon that you can use to just, lay the hurt down on whatever. And it does tempered sword damage to most enemies.
Especially with hookshot that you could stun enemies if you really don't feel like dealing with them. Yeah, it's... We know where the first sword is, but nobody else aside from BigDunka has gone there yet. Lavin picking up his mirror.
So Walther finally picking up the glove.
Glove and his more or less useless key for Ice Palace.
So at this point, I'm kind of feeling like Lamp or Flute is at Zora.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of, places that that the logic wanted you to get to soon, and that glove makes me think, okay, Zora's a thing.
Mm-hmm. And a fair amount of early money, too. A couple 300s there.
You know, Agana is a possibility, of course. There's, of course, possibilities that those other places lead to other things.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, you know, with that Moon Pearl up on Death Mountain, there has to be some way to reach there.
Right.
Probably the most trolly thing I can think of would be Castle Tower Key and Cape.
Yeah, there could be something in that first chest in the Castle Tower once they find Cape or Master Sword.
Well, and then I'm saying there's a sword there. So then they'd have both Castle Tower Keys, Cape, and sword. And then they could clear Aga.
So let's see what's in the cave.
And then, like, lamp or flute on pyramid.
Blech.
Which would be the worst, and somebody stop me.
Just a piece of heart in Agana's cave. So Zora is looking like the play. Because what else could it be?
At least within the logic, that seems to be it. Early on in this race, it's really not a fruitful exercise to try to decide who's in first place. Mainly because it's you know, we don't really know how this is going to play out. If you look at the number of items, that's one way you could sort of tell, but it's not going to give you a perfect picture.
Basically, if you remember N64...
so it's not going to be an Agaseed. I forgot lamp. I'm bad.
If you remember the Yoshi track in the N64 version of Mario Kart, and how there was just a big question mark for your location, because there were so many different routes you could take the game didn't know what position you were actually in, that's Keysanity. Like, until you are in the final stretch climbing GT, we can't really predict, you know, where you are in relation to others.
And also, you occasionally get run over by a giant egg.
Happens too. It's part of life.
Yeah. Not really that often in this game, but it happens. So,
eggs, cabbages, same thing. It's all food.
Yeah, basically. BigDunka makes his way, takes a peek inside of Tower of Hera. And Walther, I think, is about to head up to Zora the old-fashioned way.
Yep, not using fake flipper, just deciding to walk, needs this exercise. Not a big fan of swimming. It's kind of cold to swim.
Yep, not everybody is a fan of using the fake flipper glitch. You do have to be very careful to avoid damage if you're going to do so.
Yep, single hit will take you out and give you a game over.
So up on the ledge, we've got a small key. I'm going to say swamp, just to be that guy.
For anybody new who doesn't know why the Swamp Palace small key is a big deal, that's how you get in the dungeon. Without that key, you're not checking anything. You can check a single chest at the start, but that's it. In prior versions, there was a 10% chance for the Swamp Palace small key to be in that chest. That has been fixed. And there's the flute from King Zora. He isn't a scam today. Wow.
Yep, there's that fluted Zora. So as previously predicted, Zora was the play. And Walther can finally, within the logic, make his way up to Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm. King Sora just tried to prove us wrong with our statement about 20 minutes ago, saying gambling is bad, don't give him money. He's like, nah, I still want your money. I got something good here this time. You can trust me.
Now, BigDunka is doing the fake flipper play. He's going to get his flippers or not his flippers. How do I words? He's going to get his flute as well as whatever's in this cave. And I assume he went to Hobo. I feel like it went to Hobo.
If he did, I don't think it was anything. Might have been a compass. Just a heart container and a compass in the waterfall there, though.
So now Walther is going to do, I assume, the happy dance once he picks up his moon pearl here up on top of Spectacle Rock.
Mm-hmm. So once he does that, that's Dark World access. Where do you go from here? Like, have you found enough keys for Pod to warrant going to check Pod early?
My rule of thumb is 3. I like to have 3 before I go in there, if at all possible. Unless I have both the bow and the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Because with 3, it gives you logical access to, everything in the back with the dark, the basement with the rupees in it, all that mess.
Right.
And also allows you to reach the dark maze if you can do the hammer yump and all that mess.
Yeah, Hammer Yump is so incredibly useful in Keysanity because it lets you skip an entire small key. If you route correctly.
And then, of course, having both the bow and hammer also lets you skip a small key.
Yeah.
But that is a particularly unwieldy
it's rough to route that, yeah. Still worthwhile to learn your way around Pod for Keysanity. Like, I feel like Hammer Yump in Keysanity is as useful as Ice Palace Bomb Jump could be.
So I feel like if you're say Walther here, you finish out Paradox Cave here. I feel like the next place you go is West Dark World, and specifically Thieves Town.
Yeah.
Mainly because you have the Thieves Town big key.
Right.
So that's, 7 items.
I don't remember if people found the map for Thieves Town or not, so I'm not sure if that's Crystal or Pendant, if we'll get that knowledge on a map check or not.
I want to think I saw a map for it, but it might have been a compass. I think that was just it right there in Sahazrala's hut.
Okay.
So, Flute at Zora, Moon Pearl on Spectacle Rock, Mirror in Mini Moldorm, Glove at Uncle, Hammer. Where was Hammer? Eastern.
Eastern. Second chest in Eastern.
And Hookshot in Kakariko Well.
It's a nice mix of items. It basically tells you where it wants you to go. It doesn't just open the world up and say, have at it, good luck.
No, Walther. First of all, if you fail that bomb jump, you just go around. Second of all, there you go.
I know we were asking before, under the bridge was just a piece of heart. Nothing big there, as we just saw on Lavan's screen.
So Lavan is playing as Maple Queen, or the Saku Sprite,
Saku Sprite.
as some people would say. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, BigDunka is going for the irony route.
The jumper route. Have a younger self kill your older self.
Ooh, nice. And then, of course, Blackjac is, you know, going with the tried and true gotta go fast strategy.
I do like Sonic's mushroom, or yeah, the mushroom sprite when he gets bunny beamed, because he just turns into Mario.
That works. Yeah, I think Looper is the correct one. Jumper is the Hayden Christensen movie.
It is Looper. Yeah, because they're time loops, my bad. The jumper was something different entirely.
Someone is telling me to do the Mario. If we have time, we may do the Mario.
I will, I'll let you do that later on your own.
But not right now. We have a race to call.
So, in Hera map, Lex not to pick it up.
Interesting. You know, if I see a map that's, you know, right there in front of me, I'm generally picking it up.
Yeah.
If it's a little bit out of the way, I'm just like, maybe not. So, like, if it's the item in Spectacle Rock Cave, I'm not getting it. If it's up on the floating island, I'm not getting it. If it's the Lake Hylia Island, I'm not getting it. If it's Bumper Cave, I'm not getting it.
Yeah. When it's the first spot in Hera and you have Mirror,
I'm probably getting that one.
yeah. It's only a couple seconds. Though in this game, a couple seconds could mean the difference between finishing first and not. So, mushroom turn in, just some bombs. I wonder if anybody's gonna hold on to a mushroom to fake powder when they eventually pull Samaria off a floating island. So, in Hype Cave, we have a piece of heart, bomb upgrade, big 20, piece of heart, and a key. Small key for Skullwoods.
Pretty much garbage. Although, the logic is going to lock Mothula behind both Skullwoods keys. Because it is theoretically possible for you to use all your keys poorly.
Please practice responsible Skullwoods key usage.
Yes.
Bull Stumpy just has some more explosives.
But yeah, with Misery Mire, it is not possible to misuse your keys badly enough that you can't get through it with the keys that are already in there.
So Thieves and Ice are our 5-6 crystals for the Super Bomb.
Interesting. And we find the silver arrows.
Ooh.
In the Grove Cave, or 45 as some people call it.
Nice find, but it's just a shame you don't have the bow to use them yet.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that one of these days we're going to make a Slayer mode where you can just stab people with stakes. And that'll work.
Just tape a few of them on the end of your sword, give you a little bit of extra length for dash poking.
I believe it's called 45 just because that's the number it was given on a map in a certain guide that was widely available.
That is correct. It was K45 on the map, and so it just kept the name.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the Titan's mitts at the digging game. Very nice. That appeared to be like 23 or something. A bunch of digs.
23 to 25, somewhere in there.
There's a bunch of digs. I didn't even count.
After 20, you're just like, oh, please let it end. So with those Titan Smiths, he could go grab the frog, bring him home.
Yep. And in Keysanity, so you see BigDunka doing this chain here, and a lot of times in your standard races or your open races, you won't see people do this chain. You'll see people do see people put it off. And the thing with Keysanity is there is just so much that you need to find, and it can be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as opposed to open mode or standard mode where you see a lot of people diving dungeons early, you'll see a lot more overworld clearing in Keysanity.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out what BigDunka was doing there, and it turns out he was just trying to hammer and use the mirror instead. It happens. I once tried to swing my sword and use the mirror instead. I was in the Aghanim fight.
Oh no.
Bad times.
I mean, there's that famous clip we all know of a Kanzeon mirroring at the big chest.
Ouch.
Which we still don't let him live down, by the way.
I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so we see BigDunka turning in the purple chest, and that's got a big key. Which one is it? It's the Desert Palace big key. That's a big deal. Assuming he can get into Desert Palace, which he can, he could, get all the items but one.
I'm still looking for a fire source here.
Scratch that. All the items but two. I forgot about the fire source. I was talking about the boots locked item.
Also that. Does Blackjac know that he doesn't have a fire source here?
Oh, that's going to be problematic.
This is unfortunate.
And there we go.
Just realized it.
Out.
Alright, so Lavin picking up the map in Hera. It is the map for ice, which we know is a 5/6 crystal.
Alright, and Walther is also ticking up that Desert Palace big key. Pretty big deal. Interesting. So BigDunka gonna come over here and check what the required medallion for Turtle Rock is. It turns out to be the vanilla Quake.
Which we haven't seen yet. We've seen Bamos, but no Quake yet.
He can also pick up the Cane of Samaria, which he knows is on the floating island.
At this point, it's a guarantee he'll pick it up, just with a level 1 sword. Small key for GT and 100 rupees.
Oh yeah, you go pick up that Cane of Samaria.
No matter what, yeah.
Cane of Samaria is my personal favorite way to kill blind.
Yeah.
And my personal least favorite way to kill Mothula.
I've never tried Samaria Mothula. I don't want to ever try it. The Samaria blind fight is fun. I like Cane of Berna on blind more, but...
Oh yeah, Brian, using the Cane of Brian is both easier and probably more efficient than the Cane of Samaria. But...
you make do with what you got.
Yeah. I find the Samaria fight to be more fun. Now, Walther is making the play on Thieves Town. Like I said, you have access to nearly all of it at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe we found the big key of Hera in there. Plus a bottle.
First bottle. Kinda late, it feels like. And being in town, he can just mirror out and turn that in once he's done here.
Yep, that's a pretty solid way to route that.
Big 20. So, Skull Woods is a red pendant. And what looked like the sand cart in the 4th chest in Thieves Town.
Interesting. And BigDunka has acquired that Cane of Samaria. And I was wondering, Pachu, if you knew, because I've been told that there are certain factions which might disagree with this, but I'm told that it might in fact be required to be Cane.
It may be. It very well may be.
Excellent. I'm glad that we all agree on this.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's the lesser of the two Canes, but it's okay. You know, it can be the fake Cane. I'm so sorry. Small key for Meyer in the C-shaped house.
Best key ever. Now, to be fair, the Meyer small keys, they don't help you complete the dungeon, or like the logic won't do anything with them, but you can use them to get through the dungeon a little faster.
Yeah. Red mail in the Thieves Town attic.
All right, so a little bit more protection for that potential blind fight coming up. It can be pretty tricky, especially if you don't know exactly how to do it, and it is also very easy, even if you do know how to do it, to get off script.
Oh yeah.
Timing has to be fairly precise.
I do feel like it is one of the more fun boss fights once you get the hang of it. But it can be very tricky for new players and even established players.
Yeah, so all of our players have in fact activated the flute. They are ready to fly all over the place. And, you know, that shovel on pedestal is a possibility. But, who knows?
For all we know, the GT Big Key could be pedestal.
I've seen it.
Yep.
I had a practice seed the other day that had it. It was about an hour and a half in. I read it with my book, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to call it here.
No, speaking of the Maple Queen sprite here, I believe Sakura ran a Keysanity as the, for one of the holiday seeds, and ended up, being GT Big Key on pedestal for that. It was a good time to watch. So Walther in the blind fight.
Alright, so that's phase 2 down. Just 3 more hits and we'll be good to go. A little bit of a damage there, but that's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
So the fun thing about blind is when you've got green mail, you'd rather take damage from the fire than from blind. When you have red mail, you'd rather take damage from blind than the fire.
Compass for GT, not a very useful drop item, but the crystal, however, is way more important.
Yep. And in fact, that's halfway to access to the Fat Fairy.
Yep.
And the fun thing is, if he really, really wanted to, he could go get the other one.
Yeah. Fake flipper up to ice. You have
Would
Bombos.
be a sequence break. So, I think Walther has shown himself to be rather reluctant to sequence break during this run.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know.
I mean, that would involve doing Fighter Sword Cold Stare. Granted, with red mail, so it's not quite so bad.
Yep. No fire rod, so that's the worst. So I imagine the vast majority of the damage you'd end up dealing in that fight is with the hammer.
Oh yeah, you would go hammer on that, absolutely.
But you don't want to, because you gotta get way up in Cold Stare's face to use the hammer. Nobody wants to let Cold Stare get that close.
No. A little bit of freezer burn. It just hurts.
And here's that sick kid turn in for just 5 bombs upgrade.
A little surprised we haven't seen anybody check Skullwoods yet.
Yeah, that does tend to be an early play. A lot of people will put it off without the fire rod, just because they'd like to clear it out at the same time. I personally like to go in there early, and then hope I don't get the fire rod until late, so I don't have to go kill Mothula. And we note that Skullwoods is appended this time, so that, Skullwoods is appended this time, so it may not necessarily happen.
I just feel like that's a high value spot to check after you do your Beefstown. Is BigDunka going for it? Looks like he is. So Blackjac is running to get the purple chest opened, which only had the key in it. Lavan is working through Thieves Town. Walther is checking Superbike Cave. BigDunka goes into Skullwoods. Just a piece of heart in that first chest, nothing important. Big key for Swamp. That doesn't help with access, but is a chest you could check.
Yeah. You know, I did have a seed the other night where the where that first chest in Swamp was required. You had to visit it without the small key.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, that was a lot more common in V27 than it is in V28, but it is still possible.
And it wasn't the small key that it contained, it was the glove. The second glove.
That actually would not have been possible in V27. The only things that could have been in that chest in V27 were the small key or non-progression, because of the way the fill algorithm worked.
Interesting.
So you can thank V28 for that.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board with that version of the logic rather than the previous version.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes it a lot more, interesting.
Yep.
In air quotes. It's like you can't see my air quotes, so I had to state them.
So Walter's gonna grab his Cane of Samaria.
Mm-hmm.
Blackjac is doing a pyramid check.
Yeah, so the pyramid is a possibility here. We see a small key. Very interesting. Another thing I like to do when I go to the pyramid is actually check Aghanim's tower.
Yeah. In normal play, the 2 chests in Aga Tower will only contain keys. In this, you can check the first chest without key or lamp. You can check the second one with a single key, but you will be sequence breaking without lamp.
Now, of course, the real problem is that at the moment, Blackjac can't get to either of those chests because you need either the Master Sword or the Cape.
Right. Yep, that requirement has not changed.
Yeah, Walther, on the other hand, has managed to find his Cane of Samaria and make his way up Tower of Hera. He's going to be the first one to complete Tower of Hera.
Meyer is Bombos.
All right, and Bombos has been found by 3 out of 4 of our people.
Everyone but BigDunka.
Where was Bombos again? Oh, there's Quake, by the way.
The big key for Skull Woods. Oh, where did everyone else check that he wouldn't have?
But also, Walther just found the book in Tower of Hera. In the big chest.
Mm-hmm. See if we get a pedestal check at some point.
Could very well occur. The book, of course, gives you a second way to access Desert Palace. But you didn't need a second way. Speaking of Desert Palace, we've got BigDunka making the play on Desert Palace.
Big chest containing a shield upgrade.
Just big love on the torch. It's not something I would pass up if I had the boots, but I'm not coming back for it.
Yeah. Walther saying to Moldorm, stop, hammer time, getting a clean fight, getting a piece of heart, I think that was, and a crystal.
Yep.
So we keep asking what could be a pedestal. What?
Hold on, there was a Master Sword in Desert. That's important. We've also got the red boomerang, it appears, at the Ether Tablet. And BigDunka found the map of Eastern. He may check his map. It's a crystal. So Walther is heading through the Mire area in sort of an unorthodox direction. He's going to be checking the checkerboard cave first, looks like.
Oh, Agana.
Oh, no, Agana. Right, of course.
Interesting way of doing it.
I was wondering if Walther all of a sudden thought this was entrance shuffle, because you almost never go over to that cave.
I guess this isn't a bad way of routing. You check these places first, and you work your way counterclockwise instead to go into desert.
Yeah, that's a perfectly fine way of doing it. So the Quake medallion that we found down here in Mire, of course, is the one that's required for Turtle Rock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be important later on.
Yeah, I figure he'll grab it on his way around.
So either Palace of Darkness, Misery Mire, or Turtle Rock is the remaining pendant.
What do you think it's going to be?
I think it's probably Pod. Just to mess with them. Especially since I think our Pod key count has been rather low.
Mm-hmm. I'll bet it's Meyer.
All right. And turns out we're both going to be wrong, and it's going to be Turtle Rock. But there you go.
In that case, the chat wins. Yes, Mushroom was turned in. Mushroom was just 3 bombs.
Yep, blueberry mushrooms, which is, I believe, one of the more disgusting dishes I have thought of off the top of my head.
You had me at the blueberries, not so much the mushrooms.
Well, I'm a fan of blueberries and mushrooms, but it does not seem like the sort of thing I would want to put together.
It could work if you made like a compote kind of thing, I guess.
Anyway. Getting distracted there. BigDunka about to find his book. Walther about to make his way into desert here. Gonna get the Master Sword. Now that Master Sword, of course, is, you know, a little bit of a... could be a little bit of a troll, because that could sort of lead you over to Aghanim's tower.
Without Lamp, you're probably only going to check the first chest at the very most, though.
But that could be Lamp for all I know.
Yeah, it could be.
I've seen it there. It's probably one of the trolliest things I've seen outside of, like, you know, Hammer and Swamp Chest. You know what I'm talking about.
Or Lamp, Bow, Fire, and Ice Rod are all gone BNT Rock. Because that's just how things seem to work anymore. BigDunka taking down Moldorm, getting his piece part and a crystal for his troubles. It's real interesting, I guess, that Eastern Desert and Hera are the 1, 2, 3 crystals.
Yeah, that is a strange coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no real significance to 1, 2, and 3, other than just the numbers. See, BigDunka gonna pick up that red orang. And Walther the Fourth is making the play on Misery Mire.
And like we stated before, even he will not be able to tell whether or not it's a crystal or pendant based on the music because it's randomized. So he gathers no information about whether or not he actually wants to finish a dungeon.
Indeed. Now, I do not recall, did we pick up the big key of Mire?
I do not believe so.
Okay. I imagine at some point Walther will be checking his inventory and we can find out for sure. Now, one unfortunate part is without a fire source, there are 2 chests on the left side that are completely inaccessible to Walther.
Yep.
But there are, I believe, you know, without the big key and without a fire source, I think, what, 3? Well, there's the big key.
See, fire source locks 2, big key locks chest, and
there's 4 things you can get. Yeah.
Yep.
The
Fire
one he
locks
just picked
2,
up.
big key locks chest, and the boss.
Right. But Lamp also locks boss, so
True.
The big key he just picked up right now gives him access to just the big chest.
Compass for ice. So let's see what's in this. Even this chest is technically out of sequence. There's a swamp key for swamp.
Yeah, the swamp key. I believe version 28 actually took out the restrictions on that chest, unless you are playing Oko mode.
Oh, okay.
But we also found the flippers in the chest below it. So not only do we have the Mire Big Key itself, but also the flippers here in Misery Mire. And the Fire Rod.
And the Swamp Small Key.
So Mire has basically everything today, and we're not done. We found the Fire Rod, so we got 2 more chests we could check.
Yeah.
Assuming he gets there alive.
I mean, if he wanted to, he could try to fake powder the anti-fairy in the next room.
That would be interesting.
Did he turn them off?
But
you remember.
You would want to make sure that you had enough magic to light these torches.
There's the full magic one in the room right below this one.
True.
Just gotta be quite careful entering that room again, though.
I'd have half a mind to just walk around.
Small key
Walther
for
pulls it
thieves.
off. Thieves Town Small Key, that's a little bit trolly.
Yeah.
Because he's already cleared out Thieves Town, minus that big chest. We find a B-Tor there in the first chest in Castle Tower, and BigDunka is going for the second chest. Now, no dark rooms required by the logic at all, but turns out the dark room to get to the second chest, actually not that bad.
Yeah. The rest of the tower's not great, but...
Rest of the tower is actual garbage, and should probably go away.
Yeah. At this point, you probably don't need to actually finish a tower, just grab your second chest and move on. Blackjac deciding T-Rock.
Oh, the
Ooh.
Ice Rod! And we've got the Cane of Brian in the vanilla big key chest for Misery Mire. So just a whole lot of stuff here in Mire. And that Cane of Brian actually unlocks an item.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Spike Cave is still has some logic protecting it.
Yeah.
And the big key for Turtle Rock is in Turtle Rock.
I don't feel like that's so much a troll, because after you get a certain amount of chests for T-Rock, you get some Aria. It's like, let me go check. Even if I don't have Fire Rod, let me go check.
I know for a fact that we've seen at least 3 T-Rock small keys.
Yep. 2 of them were in one place.
Yeah.
And as was the compass for
Cave,
Turtle Rock. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, Blackjac got up here without the Fire Rod.
As did Lavan.
Now, Walther, as I suspected, decided not to go ahead and clear out Mire. And that's because, the sequence break is real. And also because Mire Dark Rooms are actual nightmares.
I'm wondering if we're gonna find Lamp in T-Rock.
It's possible. If you find Lamp in T-Rock, then you were technically supposed to double dip it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, assuming you had to do it in the first place. Because we don't know if it's required or not.
Yep. Chain Chop Room being real and polite to Lavan today.
So yeah, BigDunka did manage to find that Ice Rod. So, and there we go. Yeah, BigDunka is making the play that is likely to pay off.
Yep.
Here with the Misery Mire. And we find the Tempered Sword on Lanmola's. So that's the 3rd sword. Things working out pretty well for Walther the Fourth over here. Where did the bow come from?
That's what I was about to ask you. Like, am I seeing things? Because that looks like a lit up bow.
Is there any chance it was in a dark room?
No, because
No, Aghanim's tower contained a B-Tor and the Ice Rod.
Yeah.
Was it potentially Dark Escape?
Finds Fire Rod. Still want to know where that bow came from.
Yeah, someone's saying Dark Escape, which was my guess. But yeah, I know for a fact that if you pick up the bow in a dark room, you can see it. And yeah, BigDunka did get those flippers, which we also saw from Walther.
Mm-hmm.
We only barely saw it from Walther. And Walther is making the play on Skull Woods, which is an interesting play, given his current state.
We'll see if he decides to do a pedestal check before he finishes the dungeon or not.
I don't know if he'll do it before the dungeon, but I imagine he'll do it at some point over here.
Yeah.
Oh boy, he's doing it right now.
Well, it's like, why go fight Mothiel if you really have to?
There is that. Here it comes.
Big bucks, no whammies.
It's the bug net!
Well, that's absolutely required because we need Swagonim strats on Aghanim too. Oh,
I'm told that the bug net, when it is sitting in the Master Sword pedestal, gets powered up somehow. I don't know how.
It's time for everybody's favorite dark room. It's the Meyer dark room.
Oh boy. And you note BigDunka sitting on a heart and a half and no safeties. So he's just piecing out.
He rethought his life decisions, and I do not blame him one bit.
Seems legit. Oh, we've had plenty of pedestal seeds before. Yeah, Swamp Small Key on pedestal. That was a thing.
Mm-hmm. There's apparently a new strategy for the bomb jumps to get to the big chest in Hera and Skullwoods. I've tried it. I'm not big on it, but some people may like it. It involves charging a spin and like moving up near the edge of it, and somehow it like stops you from falling into the pit and lines you up properly. It's really weird.
I actually just put in the other day a little bit of time on those particular bomb jumps, just learning where the pixel is, so that I can, or pixels, I think it's 2 pixels.
It's 2, yep.
But I just pick one.
BigDunka making short work of Lanmo with silver arrows, gets his crystal and tempered sword.
So one little bit of advice I have, if you're planning on learning this game and learning to play this game with a bunch of different sprites, I'd recommend learning bomb jumps and things based on the shadow or the sword, but probably the shadow because you may not always have a sword. That way you can apply it to basically any sprite you want.
After you get comfortable, you could start using other lineups, like Hammer Yump. I use Top of the Head, which changes based on sprite, but yeah, Shadow lineups are the easiest to learn first.
Ooh, we see Blackjac taking a death here on blind. That's going to be unfortunate. Yeah. Well, Rizrobe covers the shadow, but he covers it exactly.
So it looks like BigDunka decided to clear Desert more or less just to refill his health so he could go take on Mire Darkroom.
Well, yeah, that's a perfectly valid strat, and here we go. So Mire Darkroom, basically you kind of want to just hold your sword out, poke the wall, go down a bit, right a bit, pick up the block, go down, and put the silly block on the switch.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it's a lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah, BigDunka made it look real easy there.
Mm-hmm. So we see Walther IV making the play on Ice Palace.
Red Mail, Tempered, Fire Rod plus Bombos. Basically the only thing you could really ask for at this point is half magic.
I mean butter, but nah.
Even then.
Yeah, with Tempered Sword and Bombos and Fire Rod, assuming you know how to get that spin off at the beginning for Cold Stare, you're gonna have an okay time fighting Cold Stare.
Yeah.
By the time he gets out of the corner, you can pretty much finish him off with Fire Rod shots. And that is if he gets out of the corner.
Mm-hmm. Yep, your timing's good enough, he never leaves. So, BigDunka's just gotta make short work of this Vitreous fight. Silvers, Tempered, Red Mail, 10 hearts.
Let's just say the developers never intended you to have silver arrows fighting Vitreous. Let's put it that way.
And Mire is a crystal.
All right.
So it means
so
either...
we're down to Pod and T-Rock.
Yep. I mean, what do you do here? Do you feel like you check Pod, or do you just go T-Rock with all that stuff you have to do it?
Well, was it BigDunka who's already gone in? No, he has not gone into T-Rock. And he's only found 2 of the 3 keys we've seen, apparently.
But he also has Fire Rod, whereas everyone else who went in did not.
Right.
So that's 2 more chests for him.
BigDunka also purchasing some potions, so he never has to do that again. And some people may think that, purchasing potions is a sign of a bad player. No! Purchasing potions is a sign of a great player. Because this game is going to troll you.
Uh-huh.
So you get yourself prepared. It's like we're all scouts here. We got to be prepared.
I don't remember ever getting my potion buying merit badge, though.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem to me.
So Walther coming up on a bunch of chests in Ice Palace. We'll see what he gets out of here.
That small key on Lake Hylia Island turns out to be Ganon's tower.
As Walther picks up a small key for Pod.
Okay. So now we've got enough pod keys to where I feel like going in. I think. That might just be the second one. I'll have to see his item list when he changes to the hookshot. No, it's the second one.
Without bow,
Yeah.
with only BigDunka having it, yeah, you wouldn't. I don't feel it's worth it. But if Lamp is there, it would definitely be worth it to him.
Alright, so we prepare for the Freezor room.
Another big 20.
Work of those with a big 20. I don't believe we've found the big key of Ice Palace.
Nope, we have not.
So Walther the Fourth will be making his way through here. I think he'll probably hit up the iced tea room.
Yep, no reason to not check everything you can in here, especially Keysanity. Because the one chest you don't check is going to have the thing you need.
If there's one motto you should have in Keysanity, it's probably full clear this thing.
Yeah.
Whatever this thing is. Unless you are in go mode, you know, unless you found that Ganon's Tower big key.
Yep, leave no chest behind.
Unless you absolutely have to. So there are some chests I will, as a matter of principle, leave behind, like the vanilla big key chest in Turtle Rock. I've seen it come back to bite me a few times, but the logic says you need all 4 keys for that. And if I don't have all 4 keys, I'm not doing it.
I've seen Fire Rod in that chest more times than I would have liked.
Ugh,
so my brain will not let me skip that chest. So we'll see Walther use Bombo strats to remove the ice from Cold Stare and go from there.
Yep. Oh, and he's also got a blue potion sitting in reserve, so that's not gonna be a problem at all. There you go. Nice.
Lavin having some trouble in Mire, though. See where he decides to go from here.
Yeah, I'm told the previous race was particularly pernicious.
The 8 p.m. or the previous Keysanity?
No, the 8 p.m. race. Somebody came into chat saying they wanted to do this, but the previous seed was some sort of unholy abomination. And it does look like Ice Palace. We've got that 5th crystal, or that other 5-6 crystal.
See if he decides to go check Pyramid Fairy.
Now, the logic, again with the logic situation, the logic wants you to have the big key for Ice Palace.
Yeah.
It also wants you to have, if I'm not mistaken, all but one of the small keys. Depending on if you have the Cane of Samaria or not. Because you can have a situation where Cold Stare can have an Ice Palace small key.
Right.
And Walther is, in fact, making his way to the ferry.
So there'll be 2 chests he'll get before others do. We'll see what's in there. You have Blackjac and Lavin both in Hera, and BigDunka working his way through ice.
Yep. So if I had to guess, I would say that Walther has a little bit of a lead in terms of things done, but BigDunka has a few more items. that are going to be necessary. But I think Walther may be getting them soon. He's up here at the pyramid. It's likely he may go to Dark Escape and Agate Tower from here. Maybe. We'll see. There's that third T-Rock key. It's on the pyramid. I forgot.
So let's see what we got. We got bombs. We got the blue boomerang.
Sometimes referred to as Lord Banana, mainly by our Zelda 1 randomizer people.
So, which team boomerang are you on, Doc? Are you blue or red?
You know, it's really hard for me to take a side because, you know, I do appreciate the red boomerang's ability to, you know, travel long distances. But I also appreciate the blue boomerang's ability to not lag the game. So there is that. Mainly what I use boomerang for is stunning Gibdos, because hookshot for some reason doesn't work, and fixing my mistakes in the Turtle Rock Crystal Switch room.
So we've got Blackjac fighting against Moldorm and getting Trolldormed.
That is what he does.
It is indeed what he does.
We don't call him Trolldorm for nothing, folks. And Walther checks the catfish, gets a nice compass for his troubles.
Moldorm just having none of it today, taking Blackjac and Lavan down multiple times. He wants revenge for those clean fights from Walther and BigDunka earlier. Yo, don't be fooled. Moldorm, the fight seems simple enough. He's just rude. Like, the random movement, the knockback, it's just... Ugh. It's the only way I can put it.
Alright, so we see Walther heading for the Bombos tablet. I don't know if we've seen anybody check this one.
I don't believe so. We saw Ether earlier.
Just a big 20. We did get the Skullwood's big key, and I believe it contained 50 rupees.
It didn't have anything important. Blackjac getting revenge on Moldorm. Gets his crystal.
Yep. Now, we did find the Swamp Small Key, right? We know where that is?
Yes, that was...
I forgot where it was, but I know we found it. It was in Mire.
Mire.
Yeah, so Walther could make the play on Swamp at the moment. Looks like he's making the floating Lake Hylia Island play. If you haven't made the floating island play at this point, you're doing it wrong.
Small key for GT. Green pendant swamp with the key.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem with Swamp is even though it has 10 items in it, sometimes, depending on how far back in the progression those items to get in were, it can be particularly unlikely that good stuff is in there. Especially since Swamp has a few unique required items as opposed to some other places. But those unique required items actually came quite early in the progression, so you never know.
Yeah. I always feel like Swamp Palace Green Pendant is kind of a coin flip whether or not you really want to go in. Regular Pendant, gonna lean more towards not going in unless absolutely necessary, but Green Pendant, that one extra item.
So Walther picks up his entirely useful present from the old man. And there's another pod key that was on Zora's ledge. I'm pretty sure I called that. No, I said swamp. Sorry. I wanted it to be swamp. I'm pretty sure when you see a small key, you basically always want it to be swamp.
More or less. So we're gonna see our first pod play coming up. I didn't see how many keys he had for pod. I think 3? Maybe 4?
Yeah, if he's been to the pyramid, he'll have 4. Otherwise, he'll have only 3. And the next time we see him change equipment will be when he goes to the right-hand side to switch to the bow.
Unless he goes left and mirrors out.
Oh yeah, there's a whole mirror thing. Who uses the mirror? It's not like it's useful for moving around. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know about you guys, I just like looking at myself in it.
You heard it here first, folks. Narcissism at its best. That is, in fact, the very definition of... Anyway.
I know what I like, and I like what I see. What can I say?
Well, there we go.
I can't even take myself seriously at that. Big 20 in the first chest.
Okay, he's got 3.
Yeah.
Now, without the big key, you couldn't complete this anyway, but if you had 4 and the big key, it is theoretically possible to complete Palace of Darkness. And grab every single chest.
It involves exact routing, not screwing it up, and knowing how to hammer jump.
Yep. And never opening the front door.
Never do that.
Yeah, that's basically the trick. Don't open the front door, don't open the Dark Maze door. And if you mess anything else up, it's fixable. Now, doing this navigation without the mirror is the worst.
Well, there's a key.
Yep, so that's the 4th key.
Piece of heart. So just a quick shout out to our featured runners. If you like what you're seeing from our players, please go give them a follow. They would appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. I know for a fact that a lot of these runners have been putting in quite a bit of time, preparing for this run, preparing for the Keysanity tournament coming up. It's going to be a pretty nice run, pretty nice setup. So, oh.
Ooh, managing to get that rock thrown just as the dead rock decides to come say hi. Invade a little bit of personal space.
At least he didn't decide to light right in front of the staircase, or the ladder there.
That is their favorite place to nest.
There's a reason I wrote a song about those guys. It's called Everybody Wants to Kill Those Squirrels. What's the best? And by the best, I mean the worst.
I assume with a name like that, it's a country song.
It's a Tears for Fears ripoff.
Oh, I see where you got it from now. So Blackjac finding his fire rod in mire. So far, really nothing in pod.
Yeah. This is why I'm thinking pod is that last pendant. The pod keys have been far more elusive than the Turtle Rock keys. And, by the way, I'm smoking something. I said if he'd been to Pyramid, he'd have 3 pod keys. That's the Turtle Rock key on Pyramid. What sort of strangeness have I been into? I don't know.
It's Keysanity. We're all confused.
Yeah, I think I'm on Keysanity. This is your brain. This is your brain on Keysanity. Where precisely is the lamp? That's what I want to know. Mimic Cave?
No, I think Mimic Cave was checked and it wasn't anything.
Laser
Lavin
Bridge?
checked it earlier.
It can't be Laser Bridge.
Swamp.
Swamp.
It's always swamp. And if it is swamp, that would have been a double dip for mire then.
Yeah. So we see BigDunka navigating the dark maze.
Chat's asking what kind of doctor you are because it sounds like you might be a witch doctor.
It could be. If you must know, I have a PhD in computer science. But...
Very nice.
But that's not relevant to these proceedings.
It's logic related. Figuring out how things work. I don't think anybody's checked the middle chest in T-Rock. I mean, lamp could be there, I guess.
There is that possibility.
BigDunka getting his Bombos 20 out of the tablet down there. See where he decides to go. Over to Swamp?
Swamp is a possibility. It looks like it may happen. Nobody likes to go independent Swamp, but sometimes you gotta do it.
Lavin playing Exterminator, taking down Mothula one hit at a time. And there goes Mothula. Bottle in the big chest in T-Rock. Oh, let's see. Key. Small key for GT.
Alright. not the most worthless thing. Oh, that's the last small key for Turtle Rock. So at this point, if I'm Walther, I go back and check that middle chest, because you've got all four T-Rock keys.
Mm-hmm.
The T-Rock big key was in the very first chest in Turtle Rock.
Yep. That first chest in the long spiky room, it was there.
T-Rock big key was in T-Rock. Meyer big key was in Meyer.
Is this game even randomized?
I mean, yes, but no. Yes and no is the answer to that. There is a big key on the library. That's true. We haven't seen Boots. Boots in this chest would be fun.
It's small key.
It's a small key to pod. Yep. Well, that's gonna be required in the logic somewhere if pod is required.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know for sure what's going on there. Now, unfortunately, Walther does not have the option to sequence break and defeat Trinex, but he does have the option to sequence break to Laser Bridge.
So what could that big key be at this point? We're still looking for the eastern big key.
Yeah, so it's going to be one of the big keys that unlocks its dungeon, because we've seen both the swamp and the Skull Woods big key. Right. If I had to guess, it's the Ice Palace big key.
Yeah.
Because the logic wants you to have that.
That's basically the only quote-unquote worthless big key left.
There's that shovel and the butter sword right next to each other in Swamp Palace.
Gotta love that butter.
So, yeah, had this a couple times in the chat. The Keysanity is the mode you're watching today. It's a little different from your normal randomizer. The difference is all of the keys that are normally inside the dungeons, as well as the dungeon maps and compasses, have been shuffled into the entire item pool, so they can be all throughout the world as long as it doesn't, make it impossible to grab whatever it is. And so you can find these things all over the place. And also there's been a little functionality added to both the maps and compasses to make them interesting as well. Alright, so BigDunka's doing the Argus fight.
Making short work of the pops with butter sword. Even tempered sword is still pretty good here, but you always want to see butter.
Butter's pretty great. Butter, you can actually sort of just like hold the sword out and just fire the hook shot, right? Because the poke will kill them.
Mm-hmm. Small key for Skull Woods and green pendant.
Alright, so that small key for Skull Woods actually puts Mothula in the logic now. But nobody's going to worry about that. Now, as I expected, BigDunka is going back in to check the left side.
Couple items over there. You're here. Might as well.
Yeah. And the fact that you're just, desperately seeking, something to get you a big key, either a big key itself or the boots that'll let you check the library or something along those lines. I don't disagree with the decision to skip it first, just in case you found it. But I definitely also don't disagree with the decision to go back in afterwards.
Yeah.
There is the big key of Eastern Palace on the laser bridge.
And a single rupee.
Yeah, so Walther did end up doing the sequence break to laser bridge, Unfortunately, he's going to be left in the dark, which, interestingly enough, are where his remaining items are.
No words. No words right now.
He's got to get that bow, and he's got to get that ice rod, and they're both in dark rooms.
Yeah.
I'm just making a factual statement. That's all I'm saying.
Where even is this lamp?
I mean, it could be here on the left side of Swamp. Could be in several oddball locations. Did we ever actually see the check on the Hera basement? Like, I know some people went up there but with the fire rod.
Somebody did. I don't think it was anything.
Okay.
Big key
there's
for
the big
ice.
key of ice. So now we know that that big key belongs to, I think it's Pod.
Ooh, what are those?
Or Ganon's Tower. And we found the boots. There, next to them. So, left side Swamp, pretty big deal today. So the library is either hiding the Pod big key or the Ganon's Tower big key.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm thinking the lamp might be at one of the Bonk Rocks locations.
That could be.
There's also this shovel location.
Yep, dig spot is a possibility. Just some bombs, though.
Yeah, BigDunka, you know, I find it, I'm just gonna say, BigDunka had the presence of mind to actually go check that shovel spot, even though the big key was right here. I would have forgotten the shovel.
Let's see what we got.
It is the big key of Ganon's
GG.
Tower. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will not be seeing much of Ganon's Tower today.
Nope. Got silvers, you got red mail, you got butter. What else you looking for?
Powder.
That's about it.
That's what I'm looking for.
Hey, got a couple bottles. Just potion up beforehand.
Yeah, true. But I mean, you have to remember to use those. No, I'm messing with you. Alright, so here we go. King's Tomb just +5 arrow upgrade. Now what? At this point, I'm thinking that Pod is the remaining pendant. And it's, and the big key is in Ganon's Tower.
Could be.
Well, maybe not. Wait. How is the lamp in Pod? How did BigDunka go through Pod and not get the lamp?
Did he not check the big key chest?
Oh.
That's where it probably was then.
There we go. Alright, so that fixes every logic problem my brain had at the moment.
Yeah.
Minus the fact that you technically need all 6 pod keys to get that chest.
Mm.
Because once again, you could use your keys poorly.
So that just means all the keys are available in areas that you don't need the lamp for.
Yep. So with Walther acquiring that lamp,
Looks like he's on the way to grab the bow then.
Yep. He's going to get the Dark Escape chest. He may even head into Agate Tower, and that will give him enough to get through Turtle Rock.
Yep.
I agree, X Ragnall. That is a very good point.
Yeah. Yeah, since the music doesn't matter so much, that would be a good addition. He's got a point. And this means we'll actually get to see a bow get picked up and not be confused when it lights up suddenly.
Oh yeah, we definitely found the silver arrows.
Ta-da!
Those were in the Grove Cave, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. They were just lying on the ground where you could see them, so yeah.
And Walther is making his way into Agate Tower to pick up that ice rod. And this is going to make his day, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little surprised that after Pod he didn't decide to immediately mirror and clear out Eastern. Oh right, he doesn't have the bow. Now he does. He can go do bow. Eastern. My time is a construct.
Time isn't real.
Yeah, that is my official opinion on this.
Grabs his ice rod and mirrors out. We'll see where he decides to go from here. Probably Eastern. Maybe Myers a good choice too. That's fine.
Yep, he can go finish out Meyer. That's going to be a pretty short trip. Just jump inside, finish that out, and then the Eastern play, the Turtle Rock play. The reason the Turtle Rock play is not happening until last is because we still don't know whether it's pendant or crystal.
Right.
But I would have to bet. I mean, my original call was that it was Pod was the pendant.
I'm not sure we could still get the Pod Big Key off of Trinex.
I think it's theoretically possible. You could have had all 6 pod keys to get that lamp, and then you would have to go to Trinex to get the big key, and then go back to pod.
Mm-hmm. You know, just in case you thought Keysanity wasn't a living entity that actively hated the players, that is still a possibility.
Yeah, Keysanity follows the standard adversarial argument for lower bounds on runtime. Anyway.
Putting your CS degree to good use there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So we have Blackjac working through Skullwoods, about to take on Mothula. Lavin is gonna go grab his big key off the library. Off the library? Off the bookcase in the library. BigDunka working through Thieves Town to go check the big chest.
Walther the Fourth having an argument with a Samaria block. And the Samaria block is winning. Because
as they usually do.
Yeah. It's an inanimate object and does not respond well to argument.
It's like yelling into the void, except it's a big orangey red block instead of darkness.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do the dark room, you could be yelling at both, I suppose.
Yeah, ¿por qué no los dos? Crystal Sanity. Just shuffle all the crystals and pendants in with the rest of the items.
I'm dying a little bit on the inside just even thinking about that. Because you're still gonna have to go beat Trinex with just a hammer, because of course you will. Walther going with Cane of Bernostrats? Did he... I don't know. I guess why not? Bee sanity, just every single chest is bees.
All right. I'm told there is actually some sort of, like, you know, bee miser mode. Like
Yeah.
If you go in the options, you can find a switch for the bees.
Yep. It's more bees, and if you set it to no, I forget which one it is, but there's an option that says not the bees.
Yeah. So it's more bees and not the bees.
Not the bees.
Not the bees.
Not the bees. Do we want to go for more Nicolas Cage stuff while we're here?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but
I'm not opposed to it either.
You'd have to ask the chat. A, B, C.
So Lavin getting his crystal out of desert, making short work of the land mode. BigDunka checking stuff in Harrow that he hadn't done before. Blackjac working towards something. Possibly thinking T-Rock. And Walther the Fourth in Eastern.
All right, so the Eastern Palace clear out play will be happening shortly.
We'll get to see what's in the big chest in here too.
I didn't see what the route that Walther took to get up here. Did he go through the Dark World by any chance? Because
I would assume he did, just to get back into Pod faster.
Well, like in the off chance that he found the big key, I guess is the idea, right?
Yeah. So we will shortly get to see Eastern, whether or not Armos has something useful or not.
Yep, you never know. So one thing, so right now, of course, Walther comes in here with plenty of arrows, no problem. But one of the things you can know about this game is, you know, if you happen to not have very many arrows coming in here, there are plenty of arrows in the pots leading up to Armos. So you should make sure to pick those up.
Mm-hmm.
You should never enter the Armos fight without enough arrows to just take them down.
Yep. 3 arrows per Armos, you'll need a minimum of 18. Or if you have Gain of Burna, you could just kind of chill and hit them all with a shooting star going around you.
There's that.
It's a fun way of doing that fight.
I learned that one the other day in an entrance randomizer when I was fighting Ice Armos.
It is a nice way of doing the fight. You can kind of just chill, take a drink of coffee or tea, let the enemy just keep running into you. Let it do the work for you.
Alright, so BigDunka is making his second dip into Turtle Rock, whereas Walther IV is making his, I'm guessing it might be his first dip into Pod.
It's his second because he found Lamp in the first.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Vanilla Big Key chest.
I know things. Yeah, he just didn't have the bow the last time he came in here.
Right. The two of our players currently in T-Rock. Blackjac hoping to find the Ice Rod. He'll have to go to Aga Tower for that.
Yep, that's one of those trolley locations that most people don't generally like to check. It's really out of the way and otherwise doesn't lead you toward any progression. It's more like just a really long two-chest overworld cave.
More or less. Most people forget it too, just because there's never anything there in standard play, and how often do you actually need to do Aga in regular open modes?
Yep. So one of the things you got to train yourself for as you're preparing for that Keysanity tournament is Aga Tower is now a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always fun to be able to do it once, like combine it with Pyramid Check or something.
But that won't always be the case.
Yeah.
It's nice when you can do it, when you can kind of be like, okay, I could check, 3, 4, 5 things instead of just this one location, but sometimes that one location is the one you really need. Third bottle for BigDunka out of the big chest in T-Rock.
I have received word from one of our runners via the IRC chat, that he claims that the seed is fine in 3 separate sentences.
And I know exactly who he's quoting to.
I am unaware of that, but I just thought it was hilarious. So we see Walther IV making his way into Turtle Rock as well. This time, now of course, Walther IV has cleared out the vast majority of the items here in Turtle Rock. The only thing he has to do is go defeat Trinax, whereas BigDunka is still making the plays through it.
Yep, deciding to go grab the Lava Island chest, getting the key for Pod.
He made the same play that Walther did. Upon finding that fourth small key, he's like, oh, this other chest is now in the logic, so...
Might as well do it while I'm here instead of having to run all the way back.
Now, the main unfortunate part of this is that before Walther IV can consider himself in actual go mode, he's going to have to go to the left side of Swamp Palace to pick up those boots. And then the boots will finally lead him to the Ganon's Tower Big Key. You know where else the pod Big Key could be?
Where's that?
Ice Palace Big Chest.
Oof. Yeah.
I know it's not Thieves Town Big Chest. We did already see that. I believe it was the big bomb upgrade.
I think you're right there.
Walther having a little trouble with the dark room here.
It can be tricky. Sometimes your controller doesn't want to take the inputs you give it.
Yeah. That seems to happen to me more and more.
Or Ice Palace could be powder. Magic Bat could lead to the key.
There is that. Let me tell you something. Powder makes your life so much better.
It does.
I'm not saying I have a problem. But I'm saying that powder is the best thing. I might have a minor addiction to magic powder is what I'm saying.
Do I need to stage an intervention? Do I need to get the chat involved here?
Maybe.
Okay.
Probably not.
Lavin has powder, and he is checking magic bats, so let's see what's here.
Yeah, the powder was at the Ice Palace Big Chest. And it's the
Big
it's the
key
pod.
for pod.
So, congratulations.
I'll give myself a pat on the back.
We will hold my intervention at the same time as your witch trial.
Just burn me at the stake. I regret nothing.
And it does turn out that Trinex is the final crystal. So Palace of Darkness turns out to be the remaining pendant.
Oh, I really hope that key doesn't throw Lavin off then.
Walther is not in go mode.
No.
Walther does not have the boots. The boots are required to get the big key of Ganon's Tower.
Oh no.
And Walther has 7 crystals.
Oh no.
He's going into Ganon's Tower.
Walther.
So this is going to be unfortunate. Big Key's not on Torch. Big Key's on Library.
Yeah. And we're just powerless. We just have to sit and watch. Well, I suppose we could try to guess what's gonna be in Tile Room then, because he'll probably still check it.
At least we're gonna see everything you could possibly want to find. Remember when I said we wouldn't be seeing much of Ganon's Tower today?
Yeah, how about that?
I was wrong. Walther decides to leave the heart container on the torch, so everybody's favorite screwed up anti-fairy Bob will be able to live today.
Not like he has the choice to take down Bob.
There is that. I gotta feel like Swamp's the first place you go after Ganon's Tower. If you don't find the key in here. I mean, it's the place with the most remaining chests, right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be looking for those boots, is what you're gonna be looking for.
Yeah, you know, you're required to grab a... Or, you know, there's a big key there. You're not sure which one of the two it's gonna be.
Yeah. So, what'd be interesting, I feel, is you go Swamp, you go left side first, you find the boots. At that point, because the other side was a big key to ice, you're down to 2 places in your mind that remaining big key can be, either Dark Palace or Ganon's Tower. I feel like at that point I might leave, go to the library, and if it's not right, go back. So Walther may be able to make up some time doing that. I don't know. I'm looking for, you know, bright side scenarios to this dip. BigDunka, meanwhile, finishes off Eastern Palace and is in actual go mode.
Yep.
And let me go ahead and... oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I wanted to go ahead and clarify that we have, in fact, had 2 finishes in this race by now. The first one came at 1 hour 54 minutes and 41 seconds from Ink Nun, and Christos Owen second place with 2 hours 59 seconds.
Well done to both those runners. Like, a sub-2 time on Keysanity regardless is really, really good.
Now I feel good about myself.
Especially on a seed like this, where there were so many...
Yeah, I would not have sub-2'd this seed. Not anywhere close.
So we have Blackjac and Lavin currently working through pod. Lavin, without the bow, won't actually be able to finish, so maybe finding the pod big key will not throw him off quite as much as we thought it might.
So Walther is opting to walk around the entire invisible path here. And the reason he's doing that is no boots, so he can't bonk off the pot there. You can also do a quick little bomb jump, and it's actually very forgiving. Like, it's a very forgiving bomb jump. BigDunka taking the intentional dive on the shooter bridge, pea shooter bridge, as I like to call it, to get some iframes so you can dash down it.
So we got bombs, got half magic, which isn't too bad. I have 50 rupees in the vanilla big key room for GT. No key though. So is he gonna skip tile room, or is he just gotta do it now?
No, it looks like he's gonna skip it.
With half magic, doesn't quite have to worry so much about his magic usage down here. BigDunka taking down Lemo too.
Yeah, so that was a solid Lambo 2 fight. And then these Wizrobe rooms are always satisfying.
Yeah, anytime you can one cycle the second one, it's a pretty good feeling.
Oh yeah.
Lavin reopening Meyer. And there's Cape.
And so Cape is online for Walther.
Grabs the small key out there, mirrors out.
And he's going to be checking that tile room. What? Oh yeah, okay, the Bob's torch. That's I was like, what location did he not check? Because it says 20 out of 27. Yeah.
BigDunka grabbing the magic refill and moving on to Moldorm 2. Gets a single hit.
Putting that cape to good use immediately in the tile room.
Hey, with F magic, why not?
Well, the great news is when you grab the wall, it doesn't matter what magic you have. You grab the wall and pull away, magic doesn't drain.
Oh yeah. I always forget that that's a thing.
It's a pretty neat little exploit, and it gets the job done.
Gets a piece of heart of tile room and mirrors out. See where he decides to go.
Alright, so let's see the BigDunka Aga 2 fight.
One hit. Two hit. Ha ha ha.
We are joined by our special guest commentator, the Count. Count von Count.
Ha ha ha.
Oh, the triple!
Very good triple. 6 hits. Ha ha ha.
It was a very nice lined up shot for that.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so BigDunka will be making his way to the final fight against Ganon.
Anyone else in the mood for some bacon?
And in the meantime, we have had our 3rd place finisher and our 4th place finisher. Those have been Weighty Words with a 203.13 and TGH with a 206.39.
So, Lavin taking that Vitreous, not too much trouble, even without the bow. Grabs his crystal out of Meyer. BigDunka working on defeating Ganon. Walther the 4th going to check Big Chested Thieves Town.
He's unfortunately not making the swamp play, which is the play he needs to make.
And Blackjac going to check Aga Tower will find Ice Rod in the 2nd chest. Double hit on Ganon there, just one more arrow will put him away, and there it is.
Alright. So BigDunka takes down Ganon. And there it is. Alright, so I'll update you on the situation momentarily. There we go. So BigDunka finishes in 5th place with a 208.49, narrowly sniping Sigma, who finished in 6th with a 208.52, and then Kyong92, a mere 19 seconds behind Sigma, in 7th place with a 201.11, or 209.11, excuse me.
Yep, well done to all finishers so far. There's a lot of potential to be led astray by some of the items in the seed and their locations, so...
we'll see about getting BigDunka in here to discuss this seed. And hello, GG.
GG, man. Come for the key. This is Keysanity, ladies and gentlemen. You come for the fun and you stay because you can't find the damn Turtle Rock key.
That is how you do it.
Sounds about right.
Of course, when it turns out to be in Turtle Rock, who's going to deal with that?
I just have one question, and hopefully you guys have the answer. I think I know what the answer is, but I want to ask, where the hell's the lamp?
The lamp is... I forgot.
Big Chest Eastern?
No.
Was it? No, it was Pod.
It wasn't Pod. Okay.
Vanilla big key chest and Pod.
Yeah, vanilla big key chest.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So the whole time I was thinking to myself, the way this is set up, the lamp is going to be in Turtle Rock, because it always is. And then it's going to force you to leave Turtle Rock to find the big key to Turtle Rock. So I put off Turtle Rock forever. Just thinking to myself, well, that's got to be where the lamp is. That's got to be where the lamp is, and that's all that you're going to be getting there. And then I go in there, and I see that last chest before the dark room is the last key. And I'm like, that doesn't make a ton of sense. I'm actually surprised it was in Pod.
Everybody put off Pod till really late, I felt like. You didn't get too many keys to start off with.
Yeah, and I've had this discussion with people before too. The number for keys is 3. If you don't have 3 keys to go into Pod, rarely do you ever really need to do it. And Pod was a complete bust. There's nothing in there. It's like $100.
Yeah. The fact that the Pod keys were coming in so late is what led me to think it was the last pendant. And that's what I predicted, because we didn't know what the last pendant was until the Trinex crystal dropped.
Yep.
Yeah. I was hopeful that was going to be the crystal, because obviously then we're good to go, and I just didn't want to have to go back in there. That one was just, I thought I was off to a fantastic start with the Meyer play, the early Meyer play, and then just for 30 minutes it slowed down to nothing.
Meyer was a treasure trove of gloriousness.
Well, you're going in there missing both things that you need to clear it, and they're both in there.
Yeah. Well, except the lamp, but who needs that?
There's a fire source in there, I guess. That was the point. Dude, this is going to be so much fun next week.
Bug net up on that pedestal there. Beautiful.
Yeah, I did check that. After getting the first 2 and being right there, I was like, there's a great possibility that one of the keys is there, and then you have to maybe even do a... well, you wouldn't have to do a double at that point, but you would have to, go back and back, so... Because, I mean, unfortunately, for the longest time, we had no idea if it was Pod or Turtle Rock, if it was the crystal or not. So it made perfect sense to make a stop there. But it's amazing how many duds there were. I'm trying to remember. Was there actually anything in Swamp?
Boots.
Boots. Yes, and that was obviously required for the Ganon Tower key. But so it was just. I think that was it. Because I don't think there was anything in Skullwoods either.
There was something else that led to some progression-ish if you were get in the mood to get trolled, like I think LavanFirestorm will at some point, maybe. Because the Ice Palace big key was there, and it led to the powder, which led to the Pod big key.
Oh, that's harsh. Ugh, wow. Yeah, I wasn't quite going to go, because I snagged that key too. I wasn't quite going to go. I mean, after seeing that it was basically everything on Death Mountain and then just the one key down there, it's like, all right, I'm going to finally dip my toes into Turtle Rock. There's got to be something up there.
Yeah. So, you know, I had to applaud you for one particular play, and it didn't turn out to be anything, but I was just really happy that this happened. When you found those boots in Swamp, right? So you're like, oh, boots, I can go get that big key on the library. That's what I would have thought immediately. But you had the presence of mind to say, oh, I also found the shovel.
Yeah, I mean, there was one of those because that was on Argus, right? I believe.
The shovel was next to the butter sword in
that's
the
right.
bottom.
That's right. It was down in the two chests. Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's at that point you kind of have to because you're still missing. You're missing 3 big keys out there, and you know you need 2 of them. So.
What I'm saying is, I would have forgotten the shovel.
Oh yeah. Well, it's unfortunately it's not a great. The shovel's never in a great location, so yeah, it was perfect just to go on route and grab it.
Yeah, very well played.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a little disappointed just because of the the overall, but that was just a horrible seed. Again, for anybody that. Oh my god! Spoiler! I only got 4 bonks. That's like a record for me.
Goodness.
Yeah, I'm like the bonk king.
Well, I mean, the bonks were the boots were kind of late.
A little bit late, yeah, but still, I usually have by then I usually get at least a baker's dozen in there. Yeah.
I mean, your name was Bonk, was it not?
It always is, and there's a reason for that.
Very nice.
Yeah, but no, this is going to be a blast next week. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to the tournament myself. How do you think it's going to go for you, BigDunka?
Well, I'm thrilled that they added the cut to top 8 instead of top 4. I'm totally thrilled because that makes all the difference in the world because now you have a safety net. I think I checked earlier today, I think it was at 198. So now we have that net. And
it's possible to go 4-1 and still make the bracket.
Yeah, because if the math works the way it probably should right now, it's going to be 7 exos and then like, what would that be? Like a dozen or so, like 15, 16, 17 in that range. Maybe even more, actually.
Yeah.
Math eludes me for 1 spot, and that's going to be just the biggest
It's going to be an exciting race, let me tell you.
Oh, man, I don't want to be involved in that.
That particular race seems like you're going to have a lot of people making just really, really big swingy plays, because, you got to get an edge against so many people who are all very good.
Oh, yeah, and that would be, I mean, it was actually similar to, if that was the case, I'll be making plays like I did tonight where I immediately go up to, immediately go to Death Mountain, sequence break flippers, get as many sequence break in as possible because you need an advantage.
And sequence breaking is one of the few ways you can get an edge in Keysanity because most of the time you're clearing basically everything anyway.
Yep. And I don't do an open. Like I rarely will sequence break Death Mountain in an open, but in Keysanity it's fine. Plus, if you find either the lantern or the flute up there, it gives you great information about where the rest of it is. So yeah, I'll sequence break my heart out.
Well played, sir. So, is there anything else you'd like to let our viewers know about, this seed, your stream, whatever you're doing?
I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, for the seed and for the Keysanity, it's so much fun. Although it can be insanely frustrating on stuff like this. So, just sit tight, guys. Wait till next week when this thing begins. And just, buckle yourself in because it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so, yeah. And so even though this seed kind of trolled you, you still, there's no love lost for Keysanity here.
Oh, hell no. And this isn't even in the top 5. For trolley seeds, it's not even in the top 5.
You've seen worse.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many Gen's Tower big keys on the pedestal have you seen?
3.
3, nice.
And
how
2
many
of them were back to back.
Small keys have you seen on there?
Just one. All
right.
But yeah, it's the yeah, I think everything that needs to be said has been said. It's just wait until next week when this thing begins. There's going to be 100 matches the first week, roughly.
Mhm.
Every one of them is going to have something in it.
And what would you say to anybody who's kind of on the fence about joining the Keysanity tournament, because there is still a couple of days to sign up if you really want to?
Yeah, I mean it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I understand it can be frustrating if you've never done it. I know that we're holding Keysanity. Well, there's one every day, obviously, with the dailies, and we usually try to sneak at least one or two in during the evening hours. I know for the EU folks, I know that I see them in the mornings sometimes, so there's always time. There's still time to get in there. You just need to rethink, some of the dungeons. Honestly, I think that 80% of Keysanity is understanding when to go into Turtle Rock, when to go into Pod, and when to go into Swamp. I think that's like 80% of what it takes, is just figuring out those three big spots and determining when is the proper time to go in them and when is the proper time to let them sit. It sometimes bites you, but I think that's the biggest piece of this. And don't be afraid to check, all of Overworld. You just gotta go out there and try it. If you don't try it into practice, if you don't like it, whatever. But yeah, just give it a shot. It is a lot of fun.
I would say that Keysanity is probably the mode for for people who don't like leaving things behind.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Completely
Absolutely.
agreed on that.
As a just policy with my gaming in general, I like to complete things, like really complete things. And Keysanity is kind of my jam because of that, because that's what you get to do a lot of the time.
A lot of full clears. What I got, 270 or 171 of 216, and that's not including the 10 or 12 items that I didn't even or I'd say maybe 5 or 6 items you didn't see, and 26 of those were in Ganon's Tower. So yeah.
Yeah. Earlier today, I had the lowest clear or collection rate I've ever seen on one of my seeds. I think it was like 150.
That sounds about right. Yeah, again, it's a ton of fun. Again, I highly recommend everybody at least trying it once. If it's not your cup of tea, you know what? That's fine. It's all good, but give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. And there's plenty of tools out there to help.
Yep. Thank you so much there, BigDunka. So you're welcome to hang out or whatever you want to do. We're going to go ahead and follow the rest of our runners as they make their journey through the rest of this impressively trolly seed.
I got to be up for work in 6.5 hours. I'm going to bed.
Well,
You get some well-deserved rest, so
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
good night.
Now it looks like we have a problem from Walther the Fourth over here. He's been here into Swamp.
Yeah.
And he's got the boots. And he left Swamp with the boots. But he never went to the library.
Oh.
But LavanFirestorm has acquired that big key, it looks like. And he will be finishing this siege shortly.
So Lavin making his way through GT. Got Blackjac working through Eastern. He still has Meyer and Ice Palace to finish. Walther's in go mode, though he doesn't know it yet. He still has to get that GT key off the bookshelf at the library.
So, little recap now for during that interview, we had several other finishers. We had mentioned up to Kyung in 7th place. We had Maximum Barnage finishing in 8th place with a 2:11.19. We had Minochi finishing in 9th with a 2:13.19. Then, later down the line, we had Unfit with a 10th place finish at 2:14.55, and then immediately 4 seconds afterwards was Gonspor with a 2:14.59. Following that, we had Sabatender at a 2:19.37 in 12th place, and Dow TMB with a 13th place finish at 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 4 seconds. Rounding out the latest finishes, we had 14th and 15th, 3 seconds apart with a 2:22.08 and 2:22.11. That was Runner Watcher and Tim Lobo. And then Umate Tsubasa CH finishing in 16th with a 2:23.45.
GG to all current finishers so far. We'll see how the rest of our featured runners fare in this seed so far.
Alright, so Walther is finishing off Argus. He's gonna pick up the drop from here. I don't remember what the drop was in particular.
A compass, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds... Okay.
Key for skulls. I'd almost rather take the compass.
Yep. But that does have the green pendant. I don't know if we saw what Sahasrara had.
Nobody turned it in.
Yeah, so Walther may be heading there. He's really got to get back to that library.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Dunka did turn it in.
Okay.
We're being told.
I did not see what it was. Bomb upgrade? Okay.
Yep, so we see Walther is going to be making the play on Sahasrara. Unfortunately, that's going to be, further away from where he needs to be. Yeah, just a bomb upgrade.
If you really want to store some extra bombs for the trek up GT.
Is that actually true, or is that someone else saying that in chat?
That it's legit. I'm known as Takeru Impulse in other places. It's just in this community, I am Pachu for reasons.
For reasons. All right. So for those of you wondering, if you would like to support the people who are dealing with this broadcast, I'm not sure who is running the actual broadcast. But my co-commentator Pachu, his Twitch name is Takeru Impulse. The two trackers are Brengwin, but in this case with 2 eyes.
2 eyes.
And Fireman_982. Those are our trackers.
Yep, give them a follow. They've done real good work. They've kept track of stuff that we haven't, like BigDunka's bow early on.
And my name is just Dr. Bobtastic, as it's written.
Yep. Give him a follow. He's been a joy to commentate with.
Yeah, it's not required. I'd appreciate it, but no requirements there. As for anything here, just the only thing you're required to do is continue enjoying the runs here on Speed Gaming 2. I mean, I guess it's not actually required, but you should do it anyway, because otherwise you're, missing out.
Yep. Lavin getting his 6th hit on Agatu will be moving on to make some bacon real shortly. Walther going to check the Ice Palace big chest, which contained powder? If I remember correctly?
I believe so. And if he follows through on that, he will pick up the Palace of Darkness big key, which will lead him further down the rabbit hole.
If he forgot that the key is in the library, then yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, as he's going to check the magic bat, he'll remember, wait a minute, there's a library!
If he mismarked his tracker, that's very unfortunate.
There was at least one time I was running where I just completely forgot to check the library at all. And I knew I forgot to do it, and I just never got back around to it, and it happened to have the Cane of Samaria.
Oof. We never remember the times that we forget to check a location and it turns out to be, 3 bombs or, a big 20. We only remember the times that, oh yeah, it's progression there. So Lavin moving into 4th phase again. Oh, is it just me or did those torches go out, pretty quick there? In succession.
I'm thinking it may be Mythical 9 running the restream tonight, so I wanted to throw the shout out to him as well. Doing a great show on the production department here.
Yep, thank you, Mythical, for the good job you're doing tonight, and everybody else.
But yes, LavanFirestorm putting the final touches in the Ganon fight. And we see LavanFirestorm finishing it off. He's going to finish with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 41 seconds in 19th place. Now before that we had the 17th place from Sir Beater with a 2:26.02, and 18th place went to He's Just a Boy with a time of 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 44 seconds. And I believe we are joined by our latest finisher, LavanFirestorm. Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing. Those dark rooms.
Yeah, about that. You did acquire the lamp, it looks like.
I did acquire the lamp. It's a good thing, too. I have no idea where I wound up in the Dark Maze in Pod the first time. Or not Pod, T-Rock, when I was in there. No idea what part of the map I wound up in.
Yeah, that can be a little confusing. Yeah, that's something that if you're going to end up doing, I don't recommend winging it.
Yeah, no. When I found the bow, I was saying, I could have had this so much earlier. I was in here, trying to do this.
So Darkroom's just not your friend today, huh?
No, not today. I haven't practiced them in a while, that's probably why.
I don't feel like anything was really anybody's friend in this seed.
I don't know, that GT Big Key was just sitting there the whole time.
It was! You knew about it 10 minutes in.
I mean, you didn't know which one it was. You didn't know which big key it was, but you knew there was a big key there, so it wasn't hiding.
Hiding in plain sight, the best place to hide anything. So, any particularly trolly items you feel like in this seed?
That Boots location was evil.
Yeah, pretty much.
That deep in Pendant Swamp.
And of course the fact that it was blocking the Gens Tower Big Key.
Yeah, just adds insult to injury.
Yeah. Now, the fun part here is Walther, one of the other guys on stream here, Walther, he found those boots and apparently completely forgot about the library.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I was just looking at that, I'm like, because I popped up the stream and I see Walter's in Pod.
Yep, he just found the Pod Big Key like you did.
Yep.
But he's actually putting it to good use, in air quotes.
Air quotes and italicized at this point.
Oh man, that's rough. Yeah, that is a rough beat there.
Yeah, so for those of you wondering and hadn't been here, that Pod Big Key was in fact at the Magic Bat, which you had to get the powder from the Ice Palace Big Chest.
Which I almost forgot to get.
And of course the Ice Palace Big Key was right next to the boots
Yep.
on the left side of swamp.
Oh.
Pick your poison.
I don't know if there was a good location to check at most points in this run.
No.
Yeah, this seed did not do you any favors, and certainly didn't pull any punches.
Most certainly did not.
The moment we saw a flute at King Zora, we're like, oh, this is gonna be a thing.
And once again, the fact that I failed at Dark Rooms kind of worked in my favor there, because if I would have been able to get up to Death Mountain... Like, I couldn't do a single Dark Room correctly today, except for Eastern. It's not much of a Dark Room.
And we're not talking the back of Eastern, we're talking
the front of Eastern. See here, I missed Mire, I missed Turtle Rock, I missed Back of Escape, and I missed rescuing the old man without from the front end.
Alright, so we see Blackjac just picked up his big key of Ganon's Tower. Also, I'm going to say that Walther is now required to pick up the bug net.
Yeah.
Yes. I was really hoping that Turtle Rock was a pendant, because I didn't know yet. If it was a pendant, I was going to go get that bug net.
I was hoping, praying you were going to go get the bug net.
I was going to
make the name joke.
Yeah, that's accurate. I
Like,
also wanted
on.
to be swagging him, but you know.
There you go.
For those of you who don't know, Lavin also has a secondary nickname of LavanFirestorm from a tournament match recently.
Not so much recently anymore. That was round 1 of the fall tournament, maybe round 2 of the fall tournament.
Time isn't real.
I'm not the apparently I'm not the only person who likes the fairies.
Oh,
Here.
I think in that match I had 7 fairy revivals.
Something around that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Hey, it's better than 7 deaths, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, one of them was an accidental revival, I think. I was trying to death warp. But
Oh, okay. Well,
It happens.
most of the time it's better than 7 deaths. What are you gonna do?
Walther just staring at the map, trying to figure out what he's forgotten. Hopefully he thinks about it.
well, that is...
He might. He knows he has to flute somewhere.
So, I have to ask you, LavanFirestorm, and this is going to go over many people's heads, but do you play a lot of Blood Moon?
I do play a lot of Blood Moon. I am a member of the team who developed the main Blood Moon deck in Legacy.
Alright then.
Yep, he is a man of many talents.
I was just looking at the tournament page for the Keysanity, and I noticed I'm like, I've seen that artwork before.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Chat, get ready. Here it comes.
Oh.
Oh, Walther is gonna get it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure he just, like, automatically wins for this.
Yeah.
He already knows what it is. He's checked it.
I will agree with the automatic win for this. He's doing this for the chat.
Yeah, this was secretly actually a Master Sword % seed. We just didn't tell anybody, so he wins. Did he check earlier? For how long he was sitting on that screen, I'm not sure he actually knew. Or if he did, he forgot.
Oh no, he was. I'm reasonably certain he was the first one to check. He checked it right before he went into the back of Skull Woods.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
So he's just having a real hard time trying to figure out where he left that big key, and he's gonna have to remember the library.
So is he full cleared the bottom
Everything.
of G Tower?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh man.
I think he might be 211 out of 2 or 210 out of 216 at this point.
Yeah, I can't think of anything he hasn't checked yet. Is he thinking
He might be going to Zora Ledge, or
Yeah, he never got that small key off of there, I don't think.
yeah. I mean, it's just a pod key, right?
I think so. Or was it an even more useless key?
I'm pretty sure it was pod.
I mean, if it was a pod key, did he skip a key somewhere? Because that could unlock a spot in pod for him.
I think he got everything.
I think he just didn't open the front door.
Oh, I suppose if people went in there and actually successfully completed the bag of escape.
He definitely did open the front door. Because he went in without the bow and got the lamp.
Yeah, but you...
Then he came back out.
Yeah, you would need to open the front door.
You have to have the bow to not unlock the front door.
Right. So what didn't he check in pod then? Harmless Hellway?
Yeah, Harmless Hellway. That's probably it. Harmless Hellway's the one I tend to leave behind. If necessary.
I had a seed with boots there 2 nights ago. I'm like,
beautiful.
Who puts boots there, really? Who throws a shoe?
Oh, there you go.
I'm not sorry.
Those of you who don't know, that's the Austin Powers reference of the day.
I get one in.
So, Lavan, I gotta ask you, just what do you think of Keysanity as a mode in general?
As a mode, I enjoy it, honestly. Most of the time.
It's like, don't try asking me after I haven't been playing a seed for a while.
Yeah, after I don't have this, 2.5 hour long seed.
I'm seeing a lot of in chat people saying
2.5 hours of salty taste in your mouth.
A lot of people seem to forget the library big key.
Yeah, apparently it's not an uncommon disease here. Bibliophobia is rampant today. We've had
so
a few
I'm
more
looking
finishes.
at the item collection, and that doesn't seem right.
The 170 out of 216?
Yeah.
I want to say Karka has said that the collection rate is off, or one of the devs said it, and I don't remember where or when.
I know it used to be off. I wasn't sure if they'd fixed it in the new version. I haven't paid that much of attention.
I think it's still kind of screwy.
Yep. So we've had 20th through 24th place finish. That's Just Defend, Yoshi 348, Novasu, Files, and Centroid 4. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Apparently somebody finished with a 196 out of 216 collection rate, so I don't think it was that far off. Let's see. Well, the thing is, you didn't go finish Skullwoods. You didn't go finish Pod.
I finished I got everything out of Skullwoods. I don't have everything out of Pod.
Right.
I don't have the Eastern Big Chest. I guess there are a bunch of items that I left on the ground too.
Right.
And then all of GT. Yeah, I guess that might be accurate. Just feels like a lot more than 170 item locations.
Yep, that's entirely possible. All right, so Walther is, contemplating, trying to figure out what he's doing. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to the chat about this seed, or about anything that you might want to be made known?
Not that I can think of. If you're interested in running Keysanity, they aren't usually this bad.
Okay. Good to know. And
in my experience,
to the best of my knowledge, the tournament coming up, that's starting next Monday. It's got you can sign up until Friday is, I believe, the deadline on that. So if you want to get in on the Keysanity tournament, you've got couple of days to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sign-ups close on January 26th.
And according to the IRC channel, Walther IV has dot forfeit.
Aww.
Just that one location.
Well, thank you guys very much for the restream and the commentary. I'll most likely watch it back while I'm at work tomorrow.
All right.
I
think we're gonna
head to bed. Yeah.
Good job. And well played, sir. I think we're gonna have Walther come in and discuss this. We're gonna I'm gonna say one word and he's gonna be like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Walther.
Welcome.
Hello.
Library.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. The big key on the library just kind of slipped your mind there. You did see it in the beginning, right?
Yeah. I was thinking that it was before I forfeited. I thought there was some place that's boots locked that I haven't checked, but I never thought about library.
Yeah, it's just one of those, kind of off the wall locations that you don't always think about. And we've had plenty of people come into chat and be like, I completely forgot about the big key on the library, and you're not the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. But those things happen, I guess.
Yep. Well, not much you can do about it, but you were doing quite well early on in this seed, let me tell you. You had some very early decisions that did you quite a bit of good. And if it hadn't have been for that one little slip up, you would have finished pretty highly.
Yeah, I felt pretty good when entering Ganna's castle, but I mean, before that, the only thing I really regretted was going into Turtle Rock before Pod, so...
Yeah, and I think, going in, with the knowledge you had, going into Gan's Tower was the correct move at that point. You had... even if you knew about that big key on the library, you still needed the boots for that. So it's just like, well, there's 22 some odd items in here.
Yeah, the best chance of finding the boots by then would be Ganon's tower for sure.
So, looks like Blackjac is having trouble finding the big key of Misery Mire. Or no, he's got the fire rod. He just hadn't gone back into Mire, apparently.
Yeah, he was doing a bunch of other overworld stuff.
Perhaps he just doesn't know which of Pod and Mire are the pendants.
Did he ever talk to the bomb vendor?
Well, the bomb vendor would have told you Thieves Town and Ice Palace.
Ice Palace, yeah. I don't know why I thought Mire was 5-6. It has been a long seed.
Yeah. Like, we as commentators were sitting here, we did not know whether Pod or Turtle Rock was the final crystal until the crystal dropped from Turtle Rock. And I assume that was also the case for you, Walther.
Yeah, I don't know where the Pod map was, but the Turtle Rock map was in Ganna's Tower, so... I just took the chance of Turtle Rock being the last crystal.
Yep, and it was a pretty good call. I mean, I made an educated guess earlier on, thinking, you know, the pod keys have been coming slowly and the Turtle Rock keys have been coming quickly, so I'm like, I think pod's the pendant.
Yeah. And sorry for forfeiting, but I just couldn't think of a single place that the key wasn't.
Yeah, it happens to everybody, and there's no problem with it whatsoever.
No shame in it, especially after, 2.5 hours. It's rough.
Yeah.
But yes, very well played. Regardless of the small mishap at the end, soldiering on, going through every possible location, trying to figure it out. Still an excellent showing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you for commentating the race and for the trackers as well. I'm gonna head out now because it's early morning here now, so I have to go to work.
All right. Well, you have a good day at work, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So a few additional finishes in the meantime. We had Fox Zero coming in 25th place with a 2:49.21. Ridley Dragon in 2:49.56 in 26th place. And Nintendo 64 in 27th place with a 2:51.21. But what's important about that one is that Nintendo 64 improved their personal best for this category by 39 minutes and 37 seconds, so congratulations to him.
Yep, well done. His comment was, "So you're telling me I can't open GT with 6 crystals? My bad."
Whoops.
We've all been there.
That's happened to me. Did you know that you also can't pull the pedestal with only 2 pendants?
Really? Did not know that.
Yep. That's happened to me before as well.
Was it something important on the pedestal?
It was the Quake medallion to get into Mire.
Yeah, a little bit important.
It was my first tournament race in the secondary tournament last time. Anyway. So, there's Jixon finishing in 28th place with a 2:52.55. And Blackjac, having finished Misery Mire, is on his way to Ganon's Tower. Keysanity Tournament. If you follow the link just posted, you can sign up for that. Anybody's welcome, and we've got about just a couple of days left to sign up for that. So if you want to get in, make sure you sign up soon. It's going to be 5 weeks of basically non-stop Keysanity on so many of these channels.
Yep, if you enjoy this insanity of keys everywhere and maps and compasses that you don't really want, sign up, come watch, hang out. It'll be a good time.
Indeed. I mean, it is Swiss. But yeah, Keysanity is a, it's not for everyone, but it's for more people than they think.
Yeah. I got to test a seed a little bit before V26 came out, and I fell in love with this format. immediately.
Nice. I just remember watching the, sort of the inspiration for this mode. There was a Wizrobe Plando created
This
where all the
sentence
keys
isn't
and
gonna
stuff
go
are
well.
out in the world. I believe it was, I believe the name of the Plando was What a Fall. And it was created actually, I think, before the waterfall was actually added to the items.
Uh-huh.
But there was still, you could get something for throwing bottles into it, and that's where you got all the swords. But also the big key of Ganon's towers on the pedestal, and things like that.
Just shaking my head at the pun there.
Yep.
So Blackjac electing to not go for the fairies, just moving up through the gauntlet. Didn't look and see if he had potions. I assume he does somewhere.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. But yeah, the trip through the gauntlet, I don't know what a very good gauntlet time is, because I don't think I've ever had one, but I know that, from opening the big key door, getting to Aga 2, if you can get there in, I would say 5 or 6 minutes, you're doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm. I've heard other people say it, and I'll agree with it, that the gauntlet is probably the most fun part of the game.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you consider the gauntlet? Is it just these 5 rooms before Landmo 2, or is it, everything heading up Ganon's tower?
Basically everything past the big key door in GT is what I consider it.
Yeah. There are some parts in here that I consider quite fun. I love these 2 rooms coming up with the Wizrobes. They make me happy.
The first one, as a new player, you get that first room with the 3 with Kain Samaria, and you feel good. Then you start having to practice the second one with slightly tighter timing on it, and when you can start pulling this off consistently, it's like, okay. It's real cool to get that in one cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the entirety of GT tests everything you know about pure mechanics, basically. It takes the rando out of rando, I guess. You're pretty much going in here, more or less what items you're gonna have. So it's just using them to the best of your ability. So it's NMG in rando. It's just pure execution here. Mm-hmm. Aside from trying to find the big key.
Yeah, so getting past that big key door, like you were saying, that's where, the great equalizer begins.
Yeah. So it's like you really want to improve your GT times and your times in general, just practice past big key door here. All the way through Ganon. If you really want to practice Ganon with different equipment sets, go in. At least do Green Mail, Silverless, Master Sword once. I won't ask you to do it more than once. But if you haven't done it yet, it's a thing.
Am I allowed to have bottles? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, you're allowed to have bottles. I won't be that mean.
then I could probably pull that off.
And let's say 13 hearts. So
All
it
right.
would give you 3 hits before you would have to bottle.
Yeah, that's the standard number of hearts you would have if you got there in NMG, right?
I honestly don't know. It's just the first time that I got to Ganon Silverless with Master Sword and Green Mail, I had 13 hearts, so I assume that that's just a good number to have.
All right. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you'd clear all 10 other dungeons, and you'd get a heart from each of those, and you start with 3, so 13.
Yeah, 13, 14 hearts is standard for MMG. So yeah,
Yeah.
Green Mail,
If you
13 hearts.
If you skip Sankart, you'll have 13.
Okay.
I only know this because when you select Ganon on the practice ROM, that's what you get. It's 13
gotcha.
hearts.
So yeah, that's a pretty good spot to practice. Practice the gauntlet. Practice Ganon Silverless. Practice bomb jumps.
Yeah, I was gonna say practice Hammer Yum.
I actually just learned it yesterday, and I was pretty happy with myself. Blackjac gained the 6th hit on Aga 2. We'll be moving on to Ganon.
My Hammer Yump is still pretty slow. I kind of pause buffer it to make sure it works, but doing Hammer Yump slow is better than having to go find another key.
Exactly. For Keysanity, I would absolutely say Hammer Yump is on par with Ice Palace Bomb Jump in Standard and Open. If not, maybe more important. If more difficult, sure. But that one key is huge.
Yeah, the thing with Hammer Yump is you have to be to drop the bomb. You have to be standing on the exact vertical pixel, and to be blown away by the bomb, you have to be standing on the exact vertical pixel. There is no vertical leeway. There's plenty of horizontal leeway.
Oh yeah.
Like you could basically do that from anywhere on the bridge.
Yep, just those 2 vertical pixels you need to be exact on. Okay, Blackjac electing to potion on phase 3 though, so this shouldn't be too rough. Already 2 hits on phase 3. And there's hit number 3. And 4.
Well, we've had a 29th place finish from Who42 Baker with a 2:59.30.
That's 3. And there is 4.
Excellent. So Blackjac finishing the race.
We'll wait
Looks
a
like. I mean, unless he falls in a hole, but I don't think that's going to happen.
It's unfortunate, but it happens.
And there he goes. Blackjac finishing in 30th place with an official SRL time of 3:03.27.
GG to Blackjac. We'll see if he wants to come in for a quick talk about it.
Excellent.
Alright, he should be in shortly.
Should be good. Yeah, Torch Glitch never hurt nobody, except for maybe Ganon.
Blackjac, welcome, GG.
Thank you.
Well played, sir. Unfortunately, you couldn't get your traditional 21st place, but
Yeah, I mismarked a couple of keys.
aw. So you was it? I know you took a while to go back to Meyer.
Meyer Big Key was one of them.
Oh, that's
I
unfortunate.
was like, "Where is this key?" And then I went everywhere. I went into a pod. And I was like, "Okay, I don't even have the pod Big Key." And when I got it, I was like, "Oh crap!" And I was like, "No, it
Blackjac,
can't
welcome,
be there."
GG.
Well played, sir.
So, and then I went straight to Meyer and walked in.
Unfortunately, you couldn't
hit
get your
the menu
traditional
button and saw
21st
that I
place,
had
but
it, and I was just smacking myself for it.
aw.
And the other one, the other key I misplaced.
So
was
you
the, swamp.
was it?
small key.
I know you
I
took a
didn't
while to go
mark
back
it.
to
I
Meyer.
had it and didn't mark it.
Yeah, and I guess that just must have been a something that happened through Meyer, because they were both in Meyer.
Yeah, I guess I was just like going through so fast trying to get all the chests that when I hit them, I was like, okay, remember to tag them, and then I floated away and didn't even tag them.
Yeah, but that sort of thing happens. So other than that, what do you think of this particular iteration of Keysanity mode?
I like it. I like running Keysanity. This is my third ever Keysanity, so mistakes are gonna happen.
All right. Are you planning on participating in the upcoming Keysanity tournament?
Nah, I don't think I'm good enough for that yet.
Oh, just enter.
Believe you me, there are plenty of people in it who aren't good enough.
That, and I end up I work like 6 days a week, so the 11 o'clock time slot is like my best time slot to play.
Well, I believe the idea with the tournament is you can just kind of schedule your match whenever you and your opponent are available. But that just if that helps out. But you're not required to join if you don't want to.
Maybe next time.
All right, that's fine. So, what do you think was the what do you think was the trolliest part of this seed?
Boots.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct.
Like I ran around for 2 hours without them, and then I got them and kept forgetting I had them.
Yeah, and a lot of people had trouble remembering the big key in the library.
Oh yeah, I remembered that one because I went straight there as soon as I could.
We had a lot of people come into chat being like, I ran around for 20 minutes before I remembered that key. And then, of course, that was the problem that our fourth featured runner here had, which caused him to bow out.
Yeah, I think ever since I started racing constantly, I think I've only had one forfeit, and that was because my computer crashed.
Nice.
I try to finish them even if I'm last. I enjoy playing it, so I want to finish it.
I agree. I'm with you on that one. So, is there anything else you'd like to say to our viewers or anybody else who might be watching about this seed, about you, about anything else you want to plug?
Keysanity's hard. And I will hit 21st place again.
Good.
We believe in you.
Good. We don't want you to bust again.
Yeah, I busted hard this time.
But busted makes me feel good.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm done.
I'm glad you said it so I didn't have to.
All right, so on that note, I think we're going to start wrapping it up, I want to say thank you once again to our forerunners, Blackjac, LavanFirestorm, Walther IV, and BigDunka, for allowing us to showcase their talents here on Speed Gaming 2. And I'd like to let everybody know, if you're looking for randomizer action, the Speed Gaming Network is your destination for that. Make sure to follow all the Speed Gaming channels, especially the Keysanity tournament coming up. That's going to be on these channels, and I imagine there'll be some more runs on the ALTTP Randomizer channels, mainly because we got so many matches to get through. I think we're going to have to use more than just the Speed Gaming channels we have here. Let's see. I'd like to thank once again our trackers and the production team behind this. We had Mythical9 running the restream behind the scenes, and Bringwin and Fireman 982 on tracking, and of course to Pachu or Takeru Impulse for co-commentating with me. Thank you so much for that.
Hey, thank you for being fun to commentate with, Dr. Bobtastic.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And and if you like what you've seen here from any of these runners, and from any of us here, best way to support those people would be to just give them a follow here, and we would appreciate that very much. So, on that note, I think it's about time to end. So, I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
I'm Pachu.
And I'll see you later.
Have a good night, everybody. Tomorrow on tap, we have 2 p.m. Keysanity, 8 p.m. Open, and 11 p.m. a Triforce Hunt. 30 of 31 pieces required. So tune in or join in the races for those. Till then, enjoy your night.